Good morning, comrades. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Nürburgring. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. And today we're doing a Q&A because many of you have actually asked for one in the recent comments. So I asked you, what do you want to know? You asked the questions and I'm going to provide the answers. I picked out the highest upvoted ones, the ones that I found most interesting, and also more personal ones, because of course there are always the questions, what's your fastest lap time, what's your favorite car, yada yada. And of course for new audience these might be interesting, but today I want to focus on the more personal ones. Now, I also do not want to not address the elephant in the room, because there were many questions about the ring tractor, and I promised to make a video about it 2 weeks ago and then 1 week ago, and I'm gonna promise to you to make one 2 days from now to upload it later on, because a lot of things have been happening. We got the taxi license, we got overwhelmed with lots of things, and some things take time, take preparation, and once the video gets released you will understand what I mean, because Ring Tractor has found a higher purpose, let's call it that, like that for now. Moving on to the question which has to do also with the title of this video. Someone asked, what was life like in Croatia when you worked for Rimac? How does it compare to Germany? And when we take it a step further, someone asked actually to that question, who worked for Rimac? Well, I did. And it's a funny coincidence because today is the 1st of September 2021, and on the 1st of September 2020 that was my last working day at Sveta Nedelja at Rimac Automobili. And now a year later I can actually, I think it's a good time to reflect and ask the question, did I make the right choice? Am I happy about it? And I'm not gonna go too much into detail, because the video that I made where I announced my resignation from Rimac Automobili, everything what I say there, it's still valid today. I have huge admiration for the company. I have huge gratitude to the company, to the things that I learned there, and still, even up until today, I'm still talking about many of its team members, whether it's on professional level or just exchanging some memes. And yeah, so am I happy, or maybe say, do I regret the decision of quitting Rimac Automobili? And the answer is probably somewhere in between, because if I'm gonna say no, it might sound a bit too negative. If I'm gonna say yes, then why the hell are you here at the Nürburgring and not going back? I'm gonna answer it differently. There is not a single day that goes by that I'm not thinking about that decision, whether I'm looking at the news or some marketing activities that the team is undertaking. I'm always thinking like, how would I have done it? Or what would my role would have been? Or how could we have done it? And by the way, while I still have the majority of your attention, guys, there are 2 cool positions at the marketing department at Rimac available. I'm going to include them in the video description, so in case you want to apply for your dream job, then go for it. Going back to it, while I'm still thinking about those things, how could have been if I would still be a part of the team, I also need to put myself back on my feet and remember the reason why I made this tough decision of leaving my dream job and going back to the Nürburgring, because I was loving this place a lot. So when I'm thinking how would it have been when I was there and I would have all the fun, I also need to think, would I be still like missing the Nürburgring? Would I still be thinking like, oh, I want to be here? And for example, now when they have this big, or just finished their US tour, traveling through the States, setting all these amazing records of the fastest accelerating production car in the world, this is when the flood happened and we were out here helping and we're still heavily involved. And I have to ask myself, would I be there in the United States and say like, Marta, sorry, I have to go, I need to go shovel some shit and to help the region that I am feel close connection to. So the long story short, to the answer to the question that no one has asked, no, I do not regret the decision that I made, as long as I am here at the Nürburgring and as long as I'm loving what I'm doing. I'd rather be here, although the things that Rimac is doing are beyond imagination and how cool they are. And especially a lot of people have also asked like, hey, have you seen this Bugatti Porsche Rimac thing? Yes, I did, and you can guess that this type of things are actually not being done overnight. And even when I was still with the company, this decision, or so to say, was in development and taking place, and I was aware of it. And like everyone in the company, I was aware of a lot more things that are about to happen, because one of the best things of working at Rimac is Mate's incredible trust in everyone in the company. So everyone is heavily involved, everyone is aware of where the company is headed towards in the next 5 years, 10 years. And this is also very inspiring. But thinking of this Bugatti thing is last year, when I had my first Bugatti experience with the Chiron Pour Sport here at the Nürburgring, and I arrived here and I met the team, and I was introduced like, yeah, he's gonna take a passenger ride, and like, oh, tell us a bit about yourself. I'm like, well, I live here at the Nürburgring, I do instructions, I do this and that and that, and I also work for Rimac Automobili. And like, whoa, hold on, what? Rimac Automobili? Mate Rimac. Like Croatia, like yeah, like huh? And everyone became like massively skeptical and questioning like why I was there, but because obviously this whole negotiations were taking place back then, which I was unaware of. People were thinking that I was like sent there with a purpose. So it's just like a funny anecdote that I wanted to share with you, that I still have to think back of at the times. But going forward now to the actual question that was asked. What did I think of life in Croatia, and what do I miss about it, and compare it to Germany? Well, I always said back then, and I will still say it even right now, Croatia would be a country where I would happily move to and stay forever and be happy there, because it's an amazing country. I miss it terribly because food, the best food out there. You could see it also on all the kilos that I gained and had to train off this year, because it's just delicious. It's also very affordable. Don't want to call things cheap, because it's like, what, yeah, very low prices. The climate is amazing, and especially in comparison with this year here, that we here in Germany at the Nürburgring, because not in Germany, but at the Nürburgring this year we had only 2 days where it was above 26 degrees, maybe 28 centigrade, and after that, done. Rain, flood, rain, flood, gray skies, cold, that's it. So thinking back of the Croatian Mediterranean climate, where I could hop in my car, drive for 1 hour and be in Rijeka and Krk, like in the near Grobnik, and lie on the beach for the whole day, and then in the evening drive back, and the following day I could go go to work. This is something that, yeah, I miss that a lot, absolutely. And then also the people. I really loved Croatian people, because they do remind me of, well, after all, they're all Slav people, and for me, who was born and grew up in Russia, very warm, open-hearted, very hedonistic. And in comparison to Germans, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, like the things that really annoys me most in some particular cases is that many of Germans are just really rules horny, I would say. If you're gonna run 5 minutes late to your appointment, that person that you had appointment with is gonna spend 10 minutes and thereby waste 10 minutes of your and his time or her time educating you how bad of a person you are, because appointment is an appointment and you came 5 minutes late, and then no, you need to do this and that. And like, this is kind of frustrating. But again, don't take it too far, too serious. It's just like one of the negative things that I kind of dislike, because there's, especially when we look, for example, at the situation that we had here with the flood. Rule is the rule. Things cannot be done the easy way, because there is one rule and you need to obey every single rule. But at the same time, in defense, what we've seen people do and come together as a whole, as a group here, during those floods, a lot of people from outside Germany, from other countries, have said, well, had it happened in our country, you probably would not have seen it. People come together and help each other. So I'm not saying that people are cold. I'm just saying that, sometimes maybe the cultural education regarding the love for the rules is making for the outsiders who are used of doing things of a bit more simple way, make life a bit more difficult, and more difficult than it could have been or should have been. So just like, again, my personal opinion, because this is a personal Q&A. And for the rest, a lot of things. Missing the personalized license plates from the Ring Tractor. There were many things that I loved and still love about Croatia. And actually, since we were talking about Rimac, one of the last video projects that I was partially involved in is actually where the employees of the company were expressing what they loved about Croatia, the foreign employees. So I'm going to include that in the video description as well, so you can actually see for yourself. It's a very cool video, very interesting one, so check it out. Long story short, some people might say like, well, if you love the country, why didn't you stay there? Again, for the same reason why I didn't stay at Rimac Automobili, because it does not have the Nürburgring. So if one day the track's going to be closed and I won't be able to do here what I do and what I love, first thing I'm going to call Marta, like, please, can I come back? Can I come back to Croatia and work with you? True story, so you can keep my word on that. But let's hope that the Nürburgring will never close. And I can continue doing what I'm doing, because you might never know what tomorrow is going to bring. In any case, let's move on to the next question, because I already spent 10 minutes explaining or answering this first question. This one is a good one. What motivates you most in life in terms of making content and working on yourself as a person? In the last year or two, I've lost all the motivation for even the smallest tasks. Any advice to get back on track? It's a hard one, because I don't know the details of your situation, why one would lose certain interests in certain things. So let's first answer the question to me, what motivates me in doing things? What motivates me in making content? Without sounding too cheesy, it motivates me whenever I meet any of you, or people write me personal DMs or say to me in the comments like, hey, it's been a tough year. It's been just like I'm going through either personal crap, or I had like this whole COVID situation. I've been in large depression. Your videos are the ones that keep me going, keeping me positive and bringing my mood up. And then I'm thinking like, okay, I need to be there for those people. Again, it sounds cheesy, but this is the biggest reward that I get. Now, when it comes to another second thing to making content, why am I doing it every single day? I'm not going to deny that thanks to a YouTube algorithm, if I'm going to stop one video, like I'm not going to upload today, then probably the next video is going to get half as many views as the previous video. So there is something, not I'm the one to miss out, but like I worked so hard in the last 5 years, I don't want to miss out on one day and then not do it. But to be honest, at the same time, and I'm gonna move on later on by adding to it, I will probably move away from daily videos in the nearby future. First of all, because I'm gonna have my surgery at some point and I will be out of action for a month. But also for some other reasons. The second part, what motivates me to work on myself as a person, it may sound weird, but I'm gonna be honest with you, haters are my biggest motivators. Whenever I had any crash and someone would say something, haha, him again, you cannot drive for shit, and that kind of things, a lot more offensive, I would, when these comments will be repetitive, first of all, block that person from my channel, but second of all, always forever remember his name and remember his comment, and then work my ass off, buy a simulator, drive on it, improve myself as a person, so this type of thing will never happen again. Whenever someone would make comments about my looks, yeah, well, we're doing something about it. Whenever back when I was 11 years old and I had a very high score from my primary school in the Netherlands, and then when I would go to the high school and the dean said like, yeah, very impressive score, but you've been only here 1 year in the Netherlands, so I'm not going to put you in the highest class, VWO, which was for the Dutch audience, because then you're going to have bad grades for Dutch, and then I'm the one who did it. So you're going to go to the lower education level. And I was really pissed off back then. So to such an extent that I ended up getting better grades for Dutch than Dutch children. So yeah, there are many examples like that, and the worst thing, or the best thing in my case, what someone can do to me is to say no for whatever reason that I like. Because if someone says you cannot breakdance for shit, I'm gonna like, yeah, I cannot do it and I don't care about it. But if there is something that I like, and if someone says that, hey, you're bad at it, ooh, well, then I'm gonna do something to actually improve myself even beyond my comfort zone. And finally, it's something that what motivates you, or what motivates me to do things that I do. I'll be honest with you, I am actually also not motivated to do a lot of things. I wouldn't say I became lazy, but I got in other priorities in life, and this means by enjoying life more. There is a story. We're going a bit off topic here, but hey, if you like it, you like it. You can watch it, you can skip it. There's a story that I read once somewhere, is that there was like a fisherman's village somewhere in like Pacifics or somewhere on a nice island, and then some Western guy came there and he saw all this tasty fish, and the fishermen were just catching barely enough fish for their own to feed, and they asked them, what are you doing? Like, yeah, well, we're fishing, we're fishing, and then we go have lunch, we go have nap, then we make some love with our wives, and then we play with our kids, and then we might fish again. And he's like, yeah, but you waste so much time. Like, okay, so what's your plan then? Okay, listen, we're gonna make more working hours, you're gonna get more fish, we're gonna make it a whole corporation, and then what? Well, then we're gonna go expand to other countries, and then what? And then we're doing this and that, they're gonna reinvest the stocks in somewhere else, and then what? Like, yeah, but then what? So what's the long-term goal? Yeah, and then in 50 years you can lie down on the beach with your loved ones and play with your children. It's like, dude, that's what we're doing right now. So why would you work up your ass to actually, if you are happy in the position where you are? Again, this is becoming way too personal, way too philosophical, but maybe this is something that someone needs to hear, is that you need to find happiness, and doing nothing could be happiness as long as you are healthy and as long as you can pay the bills and no one around you is of course also suffering. So don't be too hard on yourself for not doing certain things, but how can you get on a track to do certain things? You can start with the small things, making up your bed, for example, or try finding new things, like maybe working out if you've never done this before, something that is unrelated to your tasks. I think the key takeaway from all of this is that you need to find something that really makes you happy in life and keep on doing that. And the more you do that, of the thing that makes you happy, the more energy you will have to do things that you like less. And it's very important to find happiness in the small things, to try to find happiness in all the things, even also the things that you like less. All right, we're getting really off topic here and it's becoming already a long video, but there's one more question that I really want to address. Yeah, what has been your most memorable Nürburgring experience? It is, of course, driving the 24 hours was great. The very first one I will never forget, but driving my grandmother by now 2 years ago in 2019, hitting 300 kilometers per hour with her and sharing, again, my happiness, something that I really enjoy doing, being here at the Nürburgring, driving cars, sharing that with her, that was the most unforgettable moment that I had, and I will forever cherish it for all the reasons. And for example, I did not have that luxury of doing it with my father, who passed away by now also 2 years ago from cancer, and we did not have much contact. But when he was dying and on his deathbed, he told me, he started talking about many videos that I made, and I was unaware that he's seen them, that he was following them this close. And I had always a wish of actually taking him out on the racetrack and do things with him, but there are many reasons why it did not happen. And sometimes you see people talking on social media about their parents passing away, and they always finish like, hey, call your mom, call your dad, call their parents, spend time with them. I want to say something different. If you have something that you love doing in your life and you're proud of, or not even have to be proud of it, but just enjoy doing it, go and do this with your parents, because although they might not be telling you how much they are proud of you, they would love to be a part of it, and they, like in the background, are very supportive. So take them out and do your hobby together. I think that's the end of today's video, my kind of advice to you. So yeah, very long video, lots of topics, but timelines were there to make it easier for you to navigate through topics. Yeah, if we want to do another Q&A, let me know the questions below, and of course also the comments on today's topic. Tomorrow, more content, I promise to you. Probably there's a video that Robert and I shot about where we talk about insurance at the Nürburgring. I think I'm gonna publish that. And after that, more content, more car content. So have a good day, have a good week, and see you then. Bye-bye.